Well, hello. This is a quick look at the radio inside this MG4 that I have. And so you get into the radio by going into the center here, and then you click on the absence of a logo. The way you tune into individual stations is you find this tiny little button here, you press that, and then it takes you to a list by ensemble, which is nice, so you can go all the way through. If you spot, all of the commercial ones don't have any program type for some reason. I don't really understand why, but that's basically how that works. But you've noticed that I've got a few favorites set. So if I go back here, then you can see that the favorites are set here. Now, and I'll tune into ABC News Radio, for example, and there is ABC News Radio, and that's lovely. It's doing a little bit of decoding of the DLS. It does eventually come up with some images. If you press a tiny button, I may show you that once that ends up working. But rather annoyingly, left and right just goes through the stations available on the multiplex, or ensemble, not the stations available in your favorites. In your favorites, you don't appear to be able to navigate through those at all without just, connecting them here, which is a little bit irritating. Now, so that's one way of using the radio. The other way of using the radio is on the other screen here and on the steering wheel. And you may notice here that I can choose this little button on the steering wheel, and I can go left and right. And it will go again through all of the stations on the multiplex rather than through my favorites, which would have been more useful. I can press the button and it pauses. It doesn't pause, it just mutes really. And then I can unpress that button, and up and down changes the volume level. Now that's all lovely, but there's also a little trick on this thing here, where if you click on the button there, then that turns the mode of this into a mode where you can select from other things that you can see on your screen, the tire pressure and all of that stuff. We'll go back to the radio, but while this setting is set, if you then click in, then you can actually choose from a list of the stations which is in front of you, which nowhere in the manual, obviously. So who knows what's going on there. Oh, that's the station I'm tuned into at the moment. Okay, that kind of makes sense. And then I can click again on this button, and it plays that particular station. So, and then you press this button again to clear that mode. And now, if I press that button in, it pauses and everything else. Anyway, it's not ideal, really, from that point of view. Can we get any images working? Let's tune back in to a station where I know that they are. We'll choose KISS. No, we won't. We'll choose ABC Brisbane because that'll be easier. There's ABC Brisbane. You will notice, by the way, that these don't use the short versions. They're still the long versions, which is a little bit frustrating. There is a way of pulling out from the broadcast how to make that smaller and fit into 8 characters, but they're not using that, of course, are they? And there's a little sort of image here which does nothing. If I wait long enough, and I maybe waited, there you go. Now we can see that there's another image which is overlaid that image. So if I was to press that, what do I get? Nothing, because I haven't pressed it correctly. Ah, look! And there is a image. Let's get a bit closer. It's an image that's being broadcast on this radio station. It just happens to be the logo, and it's irritatingly flashing. So that's nice. Shall we see if we can find another version of this? And let's go to one of the commercial stations. We'll go to B105 because I know that that one does it. If I can find that station. I'm sure it's in here somewhere. There it is. All right, chosen it. I mean, it doesn't go back to the view. Right, so B105, which is one of two radio stations claiming it's Brisbane's #1 hit music station, but they both can't be right. And if I wait long enough, then I will eventually find that this image changes. Maybe I have to press it, I don't know. But this image will eventually go, oh, there's some slideshow being broadcast, and it'll eventually show me that slideshow. Is it going to happen? Or am I leading you up the garden path here? Maybe leading you up the garden path here, and in which case that doesn't really work. No, I mean, that's clearly not working, is it? Maybe that's something to do with the fact that none of the commercial stations on here seem to have any program types either. But who knows? Yes, well, that should definitely be working. Let's go back and try once more. Look, it puts me back on the top ensemble, which is nice. Don't know why, again. Let's try one more. We'll try SBS Radio 1. We'll go into their politics, apparently. And here we are. We're listening to some Greek radio here. And if, you know, eventually we'll get a slideshow here. But the slideshow, as you can probably tell, is next to useless. That may be a nice 320 by 240 slideshow, which I think is what the spec is still. I think so. Anyway, but even if it does finally appear on this radio, it's impossible to view in that tiny little square, which they've then made the logo even smaller on that square. I mean, again, it's not actually decoding at the moment, so who knows what's going on. Anyway, this is not a great user experience. I mean, it works, and that's all fine. That's about as far as it goes. You're probably wondering what's behind there, so I'll press it for you. It's got service following, and it's also got a whole set of DAB announcements, which I don't think we use in this car. Oh, look! That has suddenly appeared, finally. What have we got there? We've got a little image that says SBS Radio 1, now Greek. Well, that's not rubbish at all, is it? What was I showing you? I was showing you behind this button here, and it's all service following, yes, which I've ticked, although that doesn't work in this country, as far as I'm aware, and this lot, which I don't think also works in this country. FM, who knows what's under FM? Should we take a quick look at the FM radio? There's the FM radio. Well, that's exciting. Yes. And let's have a quick look at the FM dial. I've not really done very much with this, but there's 4ZZZ with the RDS. So look, and it's got some RDS decoding happening there, which is nice. On air, goo. Let's try Triple J and see if they've got any RDS in there. They do, so that's nice. Very old-fashioned. Can I do that? Oh, I can. Brilliant. Can I actually do that and be useful? No. Yeah. Finally, what happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? Oh, I've got a full list. Now, I've not tuned any of these in, so I think it must just have known about these, or maybe it automatically puts them in. No, it can't be, because I've clearly favorited some of them, so yeah. Anyway, there we are. That's that. Yes, not a great radio experience, particularly the DAB radio. But there we are, the radio on a MG4 Essence 64. I hope that's exciting. I'm sure it's not for anybody, but there we are.